All right. Well, we're look. Hi, it's Matt. Let's just get started because, like we talked about, best practices. All right. Well, it is Feature Friday. I'm super pumped. I got my friend Jacoby here, and our fam, and we're gonna have a good Feature Friday. Let's kick it off. Who's got some real quick wins, gratitudes, ahas here from this week, and then we're gonna get after it. What you got?
I'm going to just start with the obvious. We're so excited to have Madewell here. That was
Yeah,
a
Yeah.
huge win for everybody this week.
Oh my gosh, we got the Joey Clark on as well with the cross keys, exceeding expectations, and the studios in the house. Let's go. We've got Blake, we got Melissa, we got Joey. It's a homecoming.
well, I'll say my win is, I mean, this transition has been super smooth. Really excited, a lot of energy. I love having the energy of, I'm always the energy guy. So it's really nice when other people are bringing more energy than even I am about something that is a decision that we have made collectively. So it just feels really good. Um, got a couple of my agents on here right now, and I think we're all excited about things like this, bigger than what we are, and more coaching and more training and just more access to people that are like-minded like us. And so this has been awesome. We're pumped. And I just thank you guys for being so welcoming, and honestly for just not, kind of, I wouldn't say pursuing us, because I think I pursued you a little bit, but this has been it's been a really awesome week, really great week. So um
Well, we've got we're just gonna get into it here. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna fix our screens here, and we're just gonna get after it here. So it's Feature Friday. I have an opportunity to bring some of the best in the industry to share best practices, wins, journeys, stories, all the things. And today, to like I mentioned on Wednesday when I had a chance to just drop down to Texas here real quick for an in and out, less than even 24 hours. I think I was only in town for 21 hours, and then I got out of there. This conversation started in 2017. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the meeting on Wednesday, right? Like life moves at the speed of your relationships. And I like everyone on this call, I know understands that. Right. And there are several on this call that get it at a really, really high level. Like this is more than just business. This is more than just dollars and cents. Like these are people. These are relationships. These are families. These are lives. These are legacies. Like I don't take this lightly. I love this stuff. And this is what it's all about for me. Right.
yeah.
So I'm super excited to introduce you and give you an opportunity to kind of share your story and your path and your journey. Because, what's fun is I don't think we take the time as entrepreneurs to just kind of stop and like look around and go, oh shit, we're doing some stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like you're doing some really, really cool things. And because I know you're always driving, growing, pushing, building, all like that's just who we are as entrepreneurs. And yet, like, I want to give you a second to be able to kind of share how you got here, what you're up to, and then kind of what's going on. So, Jacoby, say hey.
I mean, I appreciate you having me. I don't know where you heard that line of relationships move at the speed of people, or whatever you said there, but that's such a brilliant line. Say it for me again.
Life moves at the
Relationship
speed of your relationships.
Life moves at the speed of relationships. That is such
Yeah,
a brilliant line. I'm going to steal that one and act like it's mine from here on out.
facts.
But it's so true. We met in 2017, and every single thing that we do in this company is people oriented. Relationships and our businesses and we're in we call it a small city, big town is where we live. Lubbock, Texas, 350,000 people. And it is all sphere, really. I mean, you've got some other ways to make business because there's 350,000 people, but it's about who you know. And everybody at this company has been an arm's length away how they came. This guy came because of this. That's how we've done this. And so I love the fact that you and I started something in 2017, kept staying in relationship, and now here we are.
Mhm.
But a little bit about my journey. I have to say, I feel like I'm not your average guy, the average journey, but I am your average guy. So I say that because I think people think that there's like you have to be LeBron James or Michael Jordan or somebody to do some crazy things. And I'm not LeBron. Like I'm not 6'8", super talented. Like I don't have that sort of thing. But I do think I had some of the right people in my lives at the right moments that I didn't even know that God was placing there, all the way back to childhood. My grandparents, huge, and there was just always my grandmother's little sayings and some of the people I got to watch as mentors, and it was like, do your best, let God do the rest. Cool. All right. That was a firm foundation in our lives. And it was also work your tail off. So that was like, got it right there, you know? And then I went into like, I dated a girl for 5 years when I was young that her parents made me read. Like her parents like gave me The Secret and gave me I probably have the basket somewhere, but I mean just books on books. And so, and then at that same moment, my brother is 3 years older than me, and he was in college, and he's like, you need to read this book. This is a guy named Robert Kiyosaki. And I'm like, okay. And then back then, I don't know if anybody remembers Chicken Soup for the Soul with Jack Canfield. Well, Jack
Yeah.
Canfield, those were super popular all growing up. Well, he wrote a book called The Success Principles.
Yes.
So I'm in my car in high school reading The Success Principles by Jack Canfield while everybody else is, doing donut runs, whatever. So I've always been a little bit weird. I say that. But it instilled the right kind of foundation there. And I grew up in a household that my dad and granddad built houses, but builders back in those days and builders today are completely different. Builders today, I feel like, make a fortune. Back then, I felt like we were scraping by. My mom was a kindergarten teacher. My dad built, and it was feast one year, famine the next year, and a lot of famine. And so, but I always wanted to be in real estate. It felt like home. So since I was 16,
No pun intended.
yeah, since I was 16, is like, I want to get my real estate license. We literally had our houses for sale. We'd build one, it wouldn't sell, we'd move into it. And so we had these jobs, and it was like, all right, if we get a showing, you're this job, you go clean this, you do, boom. And we had these jobs. Well, that's now part of my listing presentation. If there's kids in the household, I'm like, all right, this is what I did, so it's always felt like home. And I didn't go get my real estate license until I was 24 after I had some real life struggles. So I was 20, dated that girl from 16 to 20, 21, dated a rebound, if I'm just being honest with you, ended up marrying her at 22, ended up being cheated on and divorced at 23, ended up just arrested from a DUI at the same year, 23. And I was like rock bottom, even though I had done all these things right. I went to great Christian college, and which I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to get my real estate license, but I still did what the world told me to do and what my parents wanted me to do. And so I ended up just like, I did all this. I was this ambassador for the Chamber of Commerce, and big kind of did really well in the community at such a young age, won these awards. And I ended up waiting tables at 23 years old to try to go find my happiness again. And so I'm waiting tables at this local steakhouse surrounded by 18, 19, 20-year-olds. And I'm 24 at this time. And they're like just talking about their problems. And I'm like, trust me, it gets better. And I was wise at 24 when I didn't realize what I was, had some life underneath me. And I always joked that my life experience age was 40 because of what I'd been through. And I just wait tables. I'm like, I'm going to go get my real estate license. So when people always ask me, Matt, how long does it take to get your real estate license? I say, well, for you, it could take 1 to 5 weeks. For me, it took a long time because I bought classes when I was 18. I bought them again when I was 19, bought them again when I was 20, bought them again when I was 21, and then bought them again when I was 24 because they expire if you don't do them in 6 weeks. Or 6 months.
Right.
I mean, I bought them on Groupons. I did all these things, and I never committed to fulfilling that. And so finally, when I was 24 and I was at the bottom, and I was like, I moved back in with my parents. I'm like, I literally can't go any lower. What do I have to lose? I have nothing left to lose.
Yeah.
And so I went after my dream. And that is probably where I found happiness again, was going after a dream,
Uh-huh.
fulfillment there. And I would put out, so I was 24. Norsworthy, if you're listening here, listen to this line. 24 years old, and I didn't think that anybody would take me seriously because of my age. So I put on a suit every single day. I get to the office at 7:30. I would prep, do all that. Then I would make my calls for 2 hours, 3 hours, because that's what I was told to do. And it was just like, they told me to do this, I'm doing this. Then I'd go preview properties, do all the things, right? And then 3:30, I had to go home, change clothes, go wait tables. And I did that for 6 months. And then ended up selling 41 houses my first year. And I had a mentor. So I had a mentor that was an OP of an office at Keller Williams. And he ended up going to Denton, Texas to be a team leader out there. This was when I was at Keller Williams. And so I was like, man, clearly the route is you sell, you go, you run an office. Like
Yeah.
that was kind of what I was told.
Yep.
And so the second year,
I'm familiar with that promise.
yeah. So it was like crushed it again the second year. And then by year 2, it is they're like, hey, you should come to Denton and be our productivity coach. Then you take over the office. Then there's 26 offices. These people that own these own, we'll have an empire out here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I moved from Lubbock to a business that was pretty freaking good. I'm selling at a high level, and I'm left it all, moved to Denton. They did not have a coaching program. There was no, I had to build it from scratch. So they have a brand new team leader, brand new coach. And I'm also 26 years old at the time. And I'm telling these 40, 50-year-old people that have had real life, whatever, how to sell houses. Well, what I realized was, we're big on the disc, is that my personality type is like, I don't understand why you don't understand to just go.
Right.
Just go to work. Just go. And I'm a high D, high I.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why you don't want to talk to people. Why do you not want to talk to them? Just pick up the phone, go talk to them in person, go. And then that's where, you figure out behavioral styles, all that sort of thing. But my behavioral style was not, and is not, one to sit and be very good at like sitting across from people and just think. Like, you have to break through in order to kind of, like, you have to have a real breakdown, or to break through, I guess I should say, breakdown to break through.
Yeah.
To kind of like break through success. And I'm not the best at listening to the excuses. And sometimes they're not necessarily excuses. They really are reasons, and you have to break through the reasons. But I've just always kind of pushed through the brick wall. And so I realized after 6 months, I got to get back to Lubbock. One, the money was not even close to what it was in sales.
Right.
2, I'm a family guy. My whole family's out here. So I was like, so after 9 months, so I gave him 3 months, basically, still worked, and then came back to Lubbock and picked right back up where I left off. Except this time I'd spent all my savings in those 9 months, because it was a straight commission job based on other people's sales.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a base, even though I was with the corporation, there wasn't any of that. Wasn't any security. I moved out there on some promises that never happened. And so I just spent all the money I'd saved over 9 months. It kind of took 9 months to go meet people, and taught me a lot. When you're in leadership, in a leadership role, and all you have to do is come back and just sell, it's just like, okay, let's just go sell. So I moved back in July, end of July of 2016. No, maybe it's beginning of July. And once again, I was like, I got to find some happiness again. Like, I had this change. So I started working out, and one of my best friends is getting married, and I'm standing right beside him at that wedding day. And there's this beautiful photographer there, and I will die on this hill, Matt, she hit on me. And she denies it, but I'm like, I've got a selfie to prove it. And so 2 weeks later, see her again. 2 weeks after that, told her I loved her, I was going to marry her. And that was in 2016. And so we, Haley and I we're dating for a year. I proposed. And then the next year in 2018, we had talked about dreams, and we've always wanted to build. Her dream is to have a wedding venue, and so my dream is to give her whatever she could possibly want in life.
Right.
And so her dream became my dream, which I think is important for people to understand. Some people take that line of her dream became my dream and think like, well, what about your dreams? And it's like, dude, she is my dream. Like, have you met her? She's incredible, you know? And so people always think like, well, you can't have happiness living somebody else's dream. And I have a ton of happiness watching her be happy. And that's why it was such a passion for me. So, and I'm getting put in the cart in front of the horse because you know the end of the story. So she wanted to have a wedding venue. So in November 2018, we bought land with a hard money loan for $85,000 and closed on this 13 acres to build a wedding venue. We designed it in 2019, in 2020, and I'm still selling, just selling normal. In 2018, right after that, I hired an intern and launched a Keller Williams Young Professional organization that we built to the largest the YP organization in the whole, I say world because Canada was involved, but it was just North America and Canada. But I always say the largest organization KWYP had in the whole world. Worked on some leadership academies things, and I hired an intern. That intern, by the way, back that up. In 2016, I started a company called Contract to Close, where I hired Betsy, who is my business partner. And we did that for a couple of years there, where she just did it, and I did not do anything because I don't do the paperwork side. So we did that, ran it up, did 2,500 transactions in that company in about 3.5 years. And then,
Nice.
So we planned this wedding venue all through 1920. I had a team, kind of dissolved some of the team members. They weren't really, the team, accountability, it's up, it's down. Well, I hired Katie, and then we really got going rock and rolling sales wise. And then in 2021, we launched COVID happens, right? And so we put the wedding venue kind of on hold because of nobody was lending for hospitality. So we went and launched our own brokerage, and Betsy's my broker, and she's a high C, personality. She's an incredible broker, and she's kind of always the back office. I'm more the face of self-development and training. It's my name on the door because I'm not afraid to talk to anyone. And she's like, I don't need to talk to anyone. And so it works out perfectly. And so Katie been with me 5 years, or at that time, it's been 5.5 years now. I officiated her wedding, and we've grown this thing from just the 3 or 4 of us with 2 staff to we have about 27 agents now. And we recently, this week, moved over our brokerage to being powered by EXP. Still having Madewell Real Estate Company, everything the same. And then also from the same things we started in 2018, 2019, 2020, we finished building that wedding venue, and last night we just launched it. And so it's been a crazy good week because I'm trying to empower and give more for my agents, and I want them to pocket more money and take home more and just have a bigger life. And at the same time, in my personal life, I'm able to like my wife's big dream is here too. And so just super fulfilling and awesome week here.
So first of all, the story is awesome. And what I didn't realize is we have a lot of interesting parallels in that story. And I'm sure we can cover it on another time. And yet you're still being a little too humble in the fact that you didn't even touch on like the other 6 entities that you're a part of that like over your shoulder there, like between all of the family companies, yeah. So like, can you just just for those on the call that don't know you yet, like I do, like, what are some of the other things that you're participating in for those that you don't just have a brokerage and a wedding venue, which is enough for anyone, which by the way, this wedding venue is ridiculous. In any other place in the country, it would be a $50,000 wedding venue event. It's enormous. It's luxury. It's ridiculous. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's hard to even explain. And no matter how I would present it, I'd be underselling it. Like, it's amazing. And you got some other things too.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go back to your life moves at the speed of your relationships quote,
Mhm.
because my brother started his journey in construction at the same time I started my journey in real estate. And so I'm out here literally door knocking. He's out here literally door knocking. I would get a piece of fascia that needs to be repaired. He's like, yeah, we can do that for $200. And just you need fence pickets stained. You need what Jordan's doing the smallest things. And so we've kind of had this parallel. You say parallel. We have this. He was building, I was building, and so we were on our own journey until really I moved back. And when I moved back, it was like, how do we kind of do this together more and have more fun? And so I convinced him to take a leap of faith. He's more of a commercial guy now, but back then I was like, we should build a spec house. And so out here in Lubbock, there's an opportunity for you to buy lots from some developers and build a house or two and do that versus, we have D.R. Horton here now, but production builders are not really a big thing out in Lubbock. It's all about custom home builders. So I convinced him to do that, which I was feeding my own ecosystem. Like, you build it, I sell it. And I've been feeding him with construction stuff for, so many years. And so one thing that we did though is we kind of kept having the conversation of that. How do we create an ecosystem? And so I'll tell this to anybody that's just an agent out there. You need to take that line and figure that out for yourself. How do I create an ecosystem? And that can be your raving fans. That's your sphere. That's your drip. That's all those sort of things. But you're wanting to create an ecosystem. And so when I say that, we look for people that are already in the industry that are natural buyers or sellers, people that own real estate while they still do their day job. Like, that's all we're trying to do in this business is find and build our own ecosystem. So Jordan and I just said, like, yeah, let's build an ecosystem. So now I'm buying and selling, I'm buying land, or we're buying lots, but really it even went back to, I was trying to create big chunks of money. And I don't know if you've ever done that before, but you have to think differently. And so I looked around and I'm like, Hermosi and Dave Ramsey, Alex Hermosi, Dave Ramsey did a podcast the other day, and they said, what do millionaires invest their money in? And they said they invest their money in what they know. And I've always kind of been that. I know real estate. So my first thought was I should do some flips. So I bought WeBuyHouses.com franchise. It's actually a license in 2020. That was 2019. It was right after Haley and I got married. And I spent $25,000 on this license. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, just trust me, it's going to be great. And so then I said, well, we should flip some houses. Well, I got a ton of leads that came in that were, I had a few that were good, but I got so many that are just on the worst side of town. You never want to touch that. That's right next to where every shooting is. And those were the people that were like, please come buy my house. And but I ended up getting about nine flips that year. I started flipping while I'm still selling, and that was actually just as much stress as anything else, because at one point I'm running like $8,300 a month out in just payments on houses and bills, and not even talking about actual construction cost of the flips. This is just payments out. And so but I was able to do that. I did 2 wholesale deals right off the bat, made the $25,000 back, and gave that back to Haley and said, here, you keep this. See, I brought it back. And that gave me a good chunk of money. And so did some flips, did some of that. I was like, how do I make a good chunk of money? So I've always looked at it at things of how do I make a 13th or 14th or 15th month of income? I've got to make this many sales. This is my goal. So I have to do this many activities to just make what is my regular goal. And then how do I plus it 1, 2, 3 more times? We're very big on getting base hits, not home runs. But in this scenario, I was trying to do this wedding venue, and I'm like, I need to hit a couple home runs. And so the house flipping for me really went to really doubles, couple triples. And then there's a couple that was like, can't believe we even got on base without, we didn't lose. Like, we should have lost on. I don't know how we didn't.
Got hit in the head with that pitch. Yeah.
Yeah. After doing that 1 year, I pulled back from that. And I was like, I did not want to deal with that.
Yeah.
And I bought some land north of town. I bought 21 acres north of Idalou, which is a little community that everybody wants to flock to little communities out here because all of California is moving to Dallas, and so all people do not want the big city life. They want the small town life. So about 21 acres and created 9 lots, and sold off 9 lots for 3 years, really 2.5, 3 years. And I took out, all of this stuff I did, by the way, was very risky financial decisions that I could handle because of high income earner. And the reason I was high income earner is because I was selling houses, still doing all that. So I got another hard money loan because I moved faster than the banks want to move, because I'm making offers that the banks would probably not, they probably wouldn't like to deal anyway. So I got 110,000. I got this 21 acres under contract for $110,000. So you can add another zero for whatever big city you're in. But this was in 2020. And I did 110,000. I took out another $25,000 from them and cost, because I knew I was going to have some surveying, I was going to have some of that stuff. And also I basically borrowed money for my loan payments on that one, but I didn't tell the hard money guy that. And so I took out $135,000. Then I parceled it off, surveyed it, went to the county, did all the things, put in some culverts, put in the drain, all the deals. Ended up selling those, and it netted me $185,000 in 3 years. And
Not bad.
so pretty
Extra
good.
60K a year. Not a bad side gig.
And I'm trying to create chunks of money to go to this wedding venue. Now, I'll give you some math, and I'm sure I've told the people that are my agents, the wedding venue is $5 million venue. I was trying to go SBA for that this whole time. And so the wedding venue has just been, I just keep bringing that up because it's just been the big dream. Okay. So if nobody in here has read the book, The Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson, I will forever talk about this book. So I know that all my agents listening are going, you keep talking about that book, read that book. But there's a quote in there that says, the journey towards your big dream changes you.
Yeah.
And it's because as you're along your journey, it's like, who am I becoming?
Yeah. Nice.
And so the dream of the wedding venue could have been anything else. It could have been starting a Jack in the Box franchise. And it could have been whatever. But you still have to have a ton of capital. So whatever it is, just insert whatever it is for me. It was just this wedding venue, because it was also my wife. Having been through extreme hurt of having what you stand at the altar before God and make a promise that you thought would never leave you taken away, I never wanted to have that ever again. And now it's not even in an overcompensation way of saying, if I give you these things, you'll never leave me. It's I have so much just love and gratitude that I want to make this happen. So it could have been anything, but for me, that's what powered me there. And Audra, by the way, the people that told you about The Dream Giver is because I read The Dream Giver that many years ago, and I just started handing it out then. So I say all that. I had to make large chunks of money. And for me, it was then after I started doing some of that, then I got, my career's advancing at the same time, and I'm selling houses, but then we've also gone into not just building and doing that. We only do about 10 to 12 houses a year. So I don't want you to hear us saying like, oh, well, they're big builders. No, it's only like 10 houses a year, but it was good enough because now I've created an ecosystem of $300,000 house at 10 of them. That's $3 million to $5 million in just our own sales every single year. So it's like I create an ecosystem that now can become like a salary in real estate sales. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing as your raving fans. You get let's say call it 12 people to send you 1 deal a year. That's 12 deals. You get 2 people to send you 2 deals a year. Now you've got 20 deals a year. Now you also go do some open house, do some stuff. There's 20 deals. Now you get them the next year. Like that's your other ecosystem. So along the terms of that, I've gotten some commercial clients. And so I've kind of been shifting my business to commercial a little bit. And now my commercial deals, I don't know if anybody else practices both residential and commercial. My commercial deals are what I consider to be a bonus. So they take 7 months to close on a lot of these deals, or longer, but it's a $30,000 chunk. Mm-hmm. So that's what kind of did there. So along the way with that, life moves at the speed of relationships. I've just been partnering with the right people. And the guy who I met Haley at his wedding is now selling real estate at the company. Well, he and another good buddy of mine I've known for 12 years, one of my other best friends, are here. and we ended up buying 2 RV parks. And we've bought 3 properties together. And then I own 3 car washes, the self-serve car washes with my brother. And then in the middle of all of this, my brother's like, "You're really good at site selection and this real estate thing." I'm like, "Thanks, man." He's like, "I think I want to buy a Take 5 oil change franchise." Okay, well, I can drive a car and I can put gas in a car and I can change a tire. That's it. And he's kind of right there with me. We're not those guys, but and I said, "All right." So I kind of let him. I kind of was like, "Whatever you want to do, man. It sounds cool." Well, they explored it, and the territories we were offered was Wyoming or West Virginia, and I'm in Lubbock, Texas, America. So we're here. You got over here. You got over here. They chose Wyoming because we felt like that would be the closest to Texas. I also think it's because Yellowstone had just come out, and he was thinking that maybe he could be John Dutton, but I won't tell him that. So we kind of start rolling with this, and it takes a little bit longer to get that process going. And then we looked up, and Jordan's company, when he made this decision, was a $20 million $20 million construction company. And then the moment it was like time to launch everything, he had grown it to about $55 million. And so he literally didn't have the time. And I'm like, well, I don't have the time either, but I can make the time because I've got Betsy here. She can run the staff. I can go up there a few times. So I went up to Wyoming, and well, first off, we hired a badass shop manager. She's an incredible person. I hired her, went to Wyoming, found the site, did all that. And we've had our first store open since November, and I've got my second location. So we're franchisees for Take 5 Oil Change in Wyoming and Western Colorado. And so I run all of our operations for that, and I have to do 8 in 5 years, but I'm probably going to do 12 in 5 years. And every single thing we've been doing, though, has been powered by real estate and building wealth through real estate. So those are just the single families, the car washes, the RV parks. I've bought and sold a few. I sold you 9 houses there, and that was another thing I did. Made a killing on one house, got lucky. Right before it went into foreclosure, my hard money loan lender guy that I've had this relationship with all these years called me and goes, I'm foreclosing on this house. Do you want it?" And I was like, "Yeah." Well, COVID happened and the prices super appreciated. And I ended up selling that one, and I netted $69,000 on that one house.
Nice.
Which in Lubbock, Texas, that was a $220,000 house. And so that one was a freaking home run. But I just feel like I've been just blessed, man, that I've just been, I'm always looking. I'm always, hustling. We've put off our family. We don't have kids yet. We've been married. This is year 6 because we've been building. This wedding venue has been our baby, if you will. We're dog parents. Have a doodle and a Yorkie for anybody wondering. And it's been our just never nonstop, like, I'm tired today, and I'm not ever one that admits like I'm tired, but it's like we've been running so hard, so fast lately that it's like
This has been a big week. It's been a big week.
And mentally and emotionally and physically, all of it. It's been big.
Yeah.
And so I just would say, like, I don't stop that much, but I also here's another book. If you've read The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, you need to read The Power, her other book about how every action has love and gratitude in it. And I just feel like I have been given a body that is healthy enough to work my ass off, that I need to honor God by working my ass off. And that's what I took from, I mentioned my grandparents. That was the number one thing I took from them growing up. Our grandparents had to go through the Great Depression and had to really go through some shit. The biggest thing I've ever had to go through is a couple of relationship things and some depression here and there. When I was at my stressed out maximum level, I got shingles. And I don't know if you've ever had shingles, but I have shingles and I get gout, which I don't have the shingles anymore. But it was like all like down my side and down my leg. And I was like, what the heck is this? And like you put on a pair of pants and it just would hurt to touch. And so the stress was just physically coming out of my body. Yeah. So you have to reframe. I had to reframe my mindset to think, I'm healthy enough to work this hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
Right on.
Why am I woe is me when I'm above ground I'm from a blue collar, normal America family. I did not come from the slums. I did not come from the wrong side of the tracks. I grew up in Canyon, Texas, suburb America, with a great family. My family is still incredible. Um, what are my real problems here? Every
Yep.
problem I had was pretty self-inflicted.
Yeah. Bro, I
And
wish we could do this all day. I
yeah,
mean, we could sit here. We could have this. We could do like a Joe Rogan style, like 3.5 hour one.
yeah,
Right? That's probably what we need.
totally.
We're gonna continue this conversation in the future for certain. I know we're up against time here, and I want to honor
Yeah.
everybody that's on the call. If you don't know Jacoby, now you do. Go ahead and find him, connect online, Facebook, Instagram. Madewell Estates is now open and live, and ready to book your next venue of your dreams in West Texas as well.
You say
If
one
you
before you
yeah,
go
yeah,
on.
yeah, 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 100%. I was going to ask you, like, what's one last thing you want to leave everybody?
Well, I felt like I was really, you told me to kind of spill it, so I was spilling it.
Yeah,
But I will say that real estate is the tool to getting anything you want, because everybody has to have a place to lay their head.
yeah.
And so um, I just want to say, I feel like I was bragging a ton, but it's
No,
just a numbers game. That's all this is. Remove the emotions, go talk to a crap ton of people, deals will come. And that's just it. And so I've just been lucky enough to be dumb enough that I just was like not afraid to look like an idiot, just asking every single person I know, do you know anybody who wants to buy or sell a home? Do you know anybody? Do you know anybody? And that's it. That's it.
yeah, man,
So man, I appreciate you giving me a little bit of time today to talk. I
100%.
I could go on and on, but I feel like I'm just getting started. Like
Yeah,
life
dude.
is just getting started, and we've had 10 years here. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're thrilled. We're thrilled to have the opportunity to partner with you and work with everybody. Yeah, Blake's like, we gotta do another call. We gotta get another call. Maybe we'll do like part 2 like next week.
yeah, well, I want to make sure that the agents, like, every time we have a staff or sales meeting, I want somebody to take something away with, like, I got to go do this one thing to get a piece of business today. So
Mhm.
my one piece of thing, like, to do this, to go find a sale, is let's build out your list of 12 people. 12. Go find 12 people. That's what you need to spend all day, every day doing, that will send you one deal a year. 12. And then you still do your circle prospecting, your cold calls, your open houses, your sphere of influence, but 12 people that are going to send you one deal a year.
You know,
That's what you need.
there was another guy in history that kind of changed the world with just a powerful group of 12.
That's exactly right, brother. That's exactly right. But like, we spend all this time going, oh gosh, I gotta find all this. It's like, no, 12 people, break it down.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Simple, not easy. Here we go. Listen, guys,
Yeah.
this is awesome. It's just getting better every single day. Like I said on Wednesday, I said, what you're experiencing today is the worst it's ever going to be. Every single day, we're building, we're growing, we're adding, we're continually finding ways to bring value and to rock your stupid faces off. So keep showing up every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 to 9:30, conversations that convert, same time, same channel. We'll see you on Monday. Take care, guys.
See you, bud.